I probably did my first house in Aeroseal probably 20 years ago, and I just had it done again and just wanted to talk about the results, why I did it again, and how the process has changed a little bit too.
Hey guys, it's Mike Cianfrocco from the HVAC Grapevine, Detective Air. We do live streams on Sunday, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Home performance guy, duct leakage, blower door, load counts, you name it. I'm a poor man's Tim D'Stasio. Now, you did Aeroseal or AeroBarrier? Has the name changed at all recently?
No, Aeroseal is for duct sealing. AeroBarrier is for home sealing. So two different products, two different applications. They do
Okay.
both. A lot of contractors probably do more aero sealing in the retrofit market. AeroBarrier is probably in the new construction market because it's not something you want to do with a furnished home, but the aero seal you can do it anytime.
Yep. Yeah, I did one AeroBarrier on a remodel and put that on the YouTube channel. That was awesome. We really got the house super tight. Have yet to done the ductwork sealer. I really want to do that. I got a friend down in Boca, Donald Brodsky. He does the duct sealing.
Yeah, that's the duct sealing is probably one of the most underrated repairs you can do on a system. The big thing with AeroSeal, the big thing with duct sealing, period, is like in my home, I had a lot of ductwork that I just could not get to. There's just no way I was going to ever get to the ductwork itself.
Right.
There was no way I was ever going to be able to seal it with mastic because just where the fittings they're all came off the top. We have a lot of longitudinal steams. We have a lot of 90-degree elbows, a lot of sheet metal in the system. Ohio's all sheet metal, a lot of leak points, and a lot of little problems along the way with fixing those.
It's
So
like condos in Florida. You cannot get to
yeah,
some of this ductwork, man.
that's what I'm in. I'm in a condo in Ohio, and it
Okay.
was everything was buried. But here's the crazy thing: is I when I first moved in there, I didn't realize I have a garage down below my house, and I didn't realize how much of my ductwork was on the exterior of the home outside the envelope because it's routed to the garage ceiling. And
Really?
so yeah, it's just my kitchen is over the garage, my living room's
Okay.
over the garage, then all the runs that go up to the second floor are all over the garage, and my primary return in the living room is over the garage. So I kept,
Jeez.
I like roasted coffee. I kept roasted coffee in my garage, and it was really communicating with the house, getting smoke upstairs from the roaster. And that's how it dawned on me. I was thinking, how the heck's the smoke getting up into the house? It was primary returns creating a depressurization and moving stuff up
Right.
into the home. So we did the aeroseal on the supplies and the return. The supplies we got sealed up like 90%. The returns we sealed up a lot more than they were, and but we couldn't get them quite as high because just returns in Ohio are through the floor joist, and they have a lot of probably plumbing
They're,
chase holes and that
they're
kind of
still
stuff.
doing that?
Oh my gosh,
Man,
yeah, yeah.
that blows me away. Granted, Florida is not king for any type of HVAC stuff besides memes, but we at least make our returns out of like Flex or R6 ductboard. But I
Yeah,
tell you
yeah.
what, man, besides coffee, carbon monoxide from coffee, what about car idling in that
Oh,
garage? That's huge, man.
IAQ is what I was truly trying to get
Woo.
rounded up
Yeah,
because as soon as I moved in, first thing I do is I put metal cabinets out in the garage. So I put the paint out there, solvents, car cleaner, brake cleaner, all the crap I have from my
right.
garage. I just stuck in there. And so I'm trying to get it out of my envelope because I have a walkout basement. So it's you go down the stairway, you're in the basement, then you walk out to the back door into the garage, and the house is built into a hill type thing. So the front of
Gotcha.
the house is underground, the back of the house is open to the garage. And I was trying to get all those chemicals out of my garage, isolating from the house, and here they're communicating inadvertently with the house. So it's an IAQ issue all the time. But I really noticed it when I'm doing the coffee and stuff like that. There's just somebody down below in my screen there. I don't know where he's at in relative to you, but we didn't really do any introductions. We just started chatting away. And I don't know, some Jared guy down there, we probably should introduce him and include him in the conversation because otherwise you might not get a word in edgewise. People are gonna go, who's that guy down the bottom just sitting there the whole time?
Sorry about that,
So
Jared.
Oh, that's okay. People would much rather listen to Jim talk than me, I think. uh, yeah, so I'm the national director here at Aeroseal, and I've been here for quite a while. from outside of the industry originally, but kind of diving in here when I joined Aeroseal into really understanding how contractors, what their challenges and problems are, where we fit in with them, and then following you guys, the knowledge and expertise that you guys share. And Jim and I've talked, I think, several years back. We said we should do something. Didn't follow up, and didn't, like a lot of these great conversations go. But this was a great opportunity, I think, to to use or really utilize Jim's experience and his previous experience with Aeroseal, but then also the specific problems that he had in his home. So it was a pleasure to be able to work with him on it and get measured results, which I think to share to the industry, folks that haven't seen this. It's very foreign to a lot of people, right? It is a different and unique way, but extremely proven. So glad that we could share. Hopefully, we can still share some more results. We've got some video and things that we're gonna utilize with Jim.
I listened to Bill Spone's podcast, and I think it's been way back in the day. It was the invention was made a long time ago.
Yeah, early 90s, 80s, 90s, Lawrence Berkeley Labs. It was the DOE project for duct sealing. Goes back a long way.
I remember.
Like when I had it done, I want to say it's got to be close to 20 years ago on my second house I was in. It was like a science project back then. It was.
Was that the house where all the measureQuick videos are from?
Yeah. When I was on the lake. Yep. Yeah. That house there was the same problem. I had a wooden ceiling. Everything was like tongue and groove wood up above. Couldn't get to 90% of the ductwork. The ductwork leaked like a sieve. And I could tell because some of those supplies, what they'll do is they'll put a supply run inside of a return. And because they're using the 4-joist for the return chase, and then they just pan the whole thing over. My return air is coming back hotter than my air upstairs, 5 or 7 degrees hotter. So I knew I had supplies leaking into my return. So you have the negative of the return, the positive of supply. They're sucking the air out of the supply duct as fast as we can, coming back down to return, short cycle in the air. So that was one issue. But the other issue was the way that house was laid out. It was a giant open floor plan. So the supply runs were ridiculously long in that house. And I wasn't getting air up to my basically third story because it was built on the lake, again, built into a hill. It just happens both houses I've had built into a hill. So
you're losing capacity. Yeah.
Oh, especially we bought this house, and it was probably when I sold it was about a $500,000 home. But you're living in this really high-end home, and you're not comfortable, and it sucks when you have like a really nice house in the lake, and you can't sleep in your upstairs in the summertime because it's just too hot, and your downstairs is 67 degrees, and your upstairs is 78 degrees, and literally Aeroseal fixed that problem in hours. Yeah. We put the Aeroseal in. That was like
Jim
my
had
first
a nice
experience.
Mercedes
we got
with
the
no
supply
air
ducts
conditioning. That's what he had.
Tightened up about 99%, and boom, the whole house changed. It was, I think, actually, I was looking at zoning initially, and Aeroseal did it for a fraction of the cost of zoning. And I'll never have a zone motor break because I don't have any. Because
exactly, less to break. Yeah,
a lot less wear and tear, a lot less things to break, and we got something that's gonna last a lifetime. And we were there for 20 years, and the Aeroseal continued to do its job. So that's the kind of stuff, the kind of solution. It's a one and done.
Julie said it the best. I think somebody asked him, "What's the one test you would do on a house?" The owner of TEC, blower door, duct leakage, all that stuff. He said duct leakage is the most important if he had one job to do. Because as you talked in the past, in Florida, where a lot of supply leakage, we're depressurizing the house, we're pulling air from the garage. It's just horrible. I had a same type of deal at my house where I had a 5-gallon gas tank fall over one time. And we're inside, and we could just smell gas. It's that common wall that was connected to the garage. It's just all the fumes were just coming in. So super important. I had a little bit of depressurization with my house, a little bit of duct leakage, but we fixed that.
Yeah, and that's kind of the same situation I had in my house, was just the direct communication. But the key thing, I think, with Aeroseal, and I think what I wanted to talk a little bit about, was just how much the process has improved since its inception. And the equipment is changed, and maybe Jared can pitch in a little bit here, but coming out the first time seeing it, versus seeing it now, and how computer controlled and how sophisticated the equipment is, and how quickly we were able to get the job done. I think you could probably easily get two of these done a day if you were a contractor. And I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about equipment, Jared, but you guys have some pretty different stuff on there now.
Really? The last time I seen it was this old house. So I'm real excited to hear what's going on. What's new?
Yeah, we definitely have listened to contractors, and what to get the ease of the application down, and to really kind of downsize the equipment, for deployment purposes. The current piece of equipment that we have, it's a single box that is used specifically for residential. The previous equipment used an air compressor. This one is airless, so it really more than 50% reduces the deployment footprint. Right. So our target for this is for HVAC contractors, ideally to put it on install trucks, so they can they can schedule an install and do Aeroseal on the same day. That's our aim point for it. You can obviously attach it to your IAQ department. It works really well with folks that do duct cleaning, and then you can still position it. You should, we think, for tune-ups and maintenance visits, do airflow checks, and then also communicate with the homeowner what you're finding with it and how it can really improve. There's a lot of folks that just think because they have a 2-story home or a ranch with with a primary bedroom at the end of the trunk line, that they think that they just have to live with that uncomfortable spot, right? Instead of what Jim's explaining is that you don't have to. There's a much better way to do it. But it used to be about a 7 to 8 hour job. It's going back several years ago, and now dealers, our contractors can do it in about 3 to 4 hours. So that gives them that 2 per day opportunity, and it really changes the revenue generation per crew that a lot of contractors are they think of and they focus on. And it doesn't, there's no reduction of quality that it delivers for homeowners. So big benefit there. It almost doubles their potential earnings and everything with good sound quality results.
That's great. Yeah. That's awesome. Even for houses like my market, you can get to the ductwork, but with your product, I don't really need to, unless it's a huge leak, open duct. But that's huge, especially in the summer. Guys don't have to go up there and mastic seal.
Yeah, if you pair this up with Energy Conservatory, their forecasting tool, and you get the duct system right sized for the equipment, the biggest opportunity, like at my place, what I did was I took out a 2.5 ton air conditioner, straight cooling, and 100,000 BTU furnace, and I put in a 60,000 BTU furnace, which was still oversized. It was okay on first stages. I needed 37,000 BTUs of heat, and this thing's 36,000 BTUs of heat on the heat pump and 37.5 or something on the gas heating. So it's like right there. It does a really good job on both of them. Just the gas furnace always runs the first stage. I just locked out the second stage of it because I don't need it. But I wanted to go with the Bosch unit. I wanted to just try their furnace out. I love their heat pumps. But the key thing, like when you think about ductwork, is it blows up like a balloon, right? So like ductwork fills with air, blows up like a balloon, and then it squirts out the registers. And if you got leakage everywhere, it's going to squirt out the easiest place to squirt out. So the leaks tend to be closer to the furnace, closer in the plenum. The same thing with return leaks. Like we couldn't get my returns completely sealed, but my returns downstairs pull significantly harder than they did, which has also helped my upstairs return. So now I can see with the thermal imaging camera, I can actually see the upstairs. I can see the warm air going down the wall where I couldn't see in returns that they were even active before. Now I can actually see the returns are active. And
it's true.
So as a result,
I do new construction duct leakage, and I'll pull up 200 CFM, no problem, all the time. So that's 200 CFM missing to that bedroom. 200 CFM. Don't get me wrong, distributed throughout the house, but when you got things a really close margin, you need every CFM you can get. I totally agree.
Yeah, and it's leakage. Leakage is a big problem because it leaks from the places closest to the appliance first, and then you just run out of air to put up on the longer runs. And when you get all that sealed up, it all pressurizes evenly, and we rebalanced it. So now I went out and bought those. I got that Sensi 2 thermostat, and I went out and bought those little the remote temperature sensors, temperature and humidity, and I'm within a degree now between my basement and my middle floor, and my top floor, which is
Really?
pretty amazing considering I was probably about 7 degrees difference when we started. That was a big part of the reason I looked at Aeroseal again, because
Wow.
to tear out the garage would have been stupid. So
Yeah,
it's much cheaper
absolutely.
to do Aeroseal.
Now, Jared, has the name changed in the last couple of years? I feel like, has it stayed the same?
Yeah, the company name is still the same, right? The two different
Okay.
technologies you guys were talking about, we have Aeroseal Duct, and then we had AeroBarrier on the envelope side. It's now also referred to as Aeroseal Envelope.
Oh,
It's a branding, a little bit of a branding transition that we were going through. But yeah, both of those are the technologies that we have, and
yeah,
it's been really well commercialized on the new construction side. Largely, talking about duct, right? Largely around areas where there's code, there's a need to hit an efficiency target.
yeah,
It's been really well adopted in those areas, to where contractors can go in. The good thing about it is the control that the computer provides, or the parameters that the software and everything runs the equipment, knows what the target is, and automatically turns off by doing the pre-seal test in the beginning and the post-seal test at the end. It takes the guesswork out of it, right? And on the new construction side, but also on the
right,
residential side, like Jim mentioned, on his supply side, he's getting new home code level efficiency
right.
in an old home, right? So delivering a lot more air there. It's something that I think that our contractors, when they come in for onboarding, we've taken them through when they're going through their buying process. We try to make everything clear around how the equipment works and what it means. But we to be a dealer, but then we bring them in for onboarding as well to help them really align it to what they're doing in their install department, what they're doing in service and tune ups, and then if they have an IAQ or duct cleaning part of their business too, make sure that it gets alignment to every aspect of it, so that it's not just a seasonal thing that they're doing, or a single opportunity that they're doing with installs, and that they can really help gain a competitive advantage by having a better quality install with a better customer experience. And it's shown. Our dealers have, during COVID, when a lot of people went to work from home, they went to work in that spare bedroom. Well, that spare bedroom was probably the one that was the least comfortable, right?
Yep.
We thought that people were responding to an IAQ issue, a concern of COVID, and that's why our dealers, they were more busy with Aeroseal. Turns out they were just uncomfortable. They were
Yeah.
solving the comfort issue in their spare bedroom or their office at home, and by solving that, like, our dealers saw like another level. Like, they, even ones that were doing maybe just a handful of seals per month with, say, high efficient equipment, they saw now that they're actually, they can position this with as many install opportunities as possible, at least in like the top two offerings in a bundle, to deliver a better quality install and a better experience. So
Yeah.
it's been great over since then. Proved a lot to us, certainly proved a lot to our dealer network as well.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
do
think
new construction code testing for builders, right? So I'm going in there, every register is getting taped off, but I'm using your common duct leakage tester, right?
Yeah.
So what happens if somebody that has this machine, can we use it for code testing and then give the builder an option just to seal it on site?
There are some areas that do that, right? So where
Nice.
it has to be accepted, it has to be written right into it. In Utah and Minnesota and some other areas where they are comfortable with it. They know what our test method is, that it's
Right.
standardized 25 pascals. They've measured, they've done their own testing and measuring, so they know that it's consistent with everything. They also, the other thing that I think a lot of people may wonder is, like, what is the sealant made out of, right? And it's we satisfied that concern. It's not anything that has nasty solvents or anything like that in
Right.
there, and really just helping them understand. And then they go back and they work into to say it can be accepted on, here's an example, visual inspection. which is common with tape and mastic, right, of a UL certified product. But our seal certificate that shows that specific address, the company that did it, and the before and after test results, and put that in a sleeve on the plenum or on the outside of the unit, and they can come in and inspect that as visual. In some areas they have done that. Others they still want the third party. And the good news is it's never a problem. The third party will always verify what we've already verified.
Jim, I'm wondering, now the word on the street is the Bosch heat pump at your old house.
Mhm.
And the word on the street is your wife likes the heat pump way better than the furnace. And I'm wondering if it wasn't the heat pump, was it because of the Aeroseal?
We did the Aeroseal first, and that fixed a lot of the problems in the house. But then obviously the long run cycles of the heat pump really take advantage of all that. So it helps a lot. But yeah, she still likes the heat pump way more than the gas furnace. It still makes the house way more comfortable. But the other thing I was going to say, at measureQuick, one of our big things is we want to try and verify performance. We always want to try and prove that the job was done right, measure capacity, all that kind of stuff. And that's probably one of the things I like most about Aeroseal is when you're done, you get a certificate showing the duct system tightness, what it started at, what it ended at, what the equivalent leak rate was, what the energy savings is going to be. There's a lot of data on that report, very similar to what we do at measureQuick to justify the work. And to me, like that's something also you can include when you, like I gave it to our old Aeroseal report I gave to the new homeowners when they moved in. I'm like,
That's an upsell right there. I mean, it's huge.
A lot of people, when they're selling a home, they don't stop and think about, are they like, how old's the furnace or how old's the heat pump or how old's the air conditioner? They don't think about all the other work like that we did to make that system a Cadillac of a system. When I was listing the house, it was one of the things I wanted to do was go through all the things that we had done in Aeroseal, was because it's not a cheap job. It's not a huge amount of money. The ROI is a few years on it probably with the duct leakage, but it was still a couple grand when I had it done.
measureQuick.
Yeah, it's an investment you make in your house. Yeah,
exactly. Yep. I have proof. The AC runs the way it should. The ductwork runs absolutely tight, and you got delivered airflow to every room. It's there's some certifications going around right now, like Pearl and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. They go and test, and you've already got it. You've got the measureQuick report. You got the Aeroseal report. It's amazing. It's, like you said, a Cadillac house.
Yeah, that whole documentation piece is becoming more and more important, and I think it's just it's nice because you can save that as a record of the job that was done, and like I said, pass it on to the next set of homeowners. And it's a product that I had when we were doing it. I had my grandkids over. We were talking a little bit. There's no smell to it. It's non-toxic. There's no, the smell will go away in a day or two. You really can't even smell it when they're doing it. It just is like, feels like a rubber cement almost, but if you could imagine rubber cement with no smell, it's got an elastomer, it's a polymer elastomer type feel to it. And it just gets in there and more or less like clogs it like a blood clot when it's going through your ductwork, grabs, and it just keeps getting tighter and tighter as you go. Super simple.
Almost, right?
Yeah, except nobody is concerned about it. Fix it flat.
I mean,
it's nasty stuff.
It is pretty rough. It's like, I might be dating myself with movies, but the documentation from measureQuick and from Aeroseal, it's like preventative from like the movie The Money Pit. You buy a home, you get in it, and it just drains you for money. So it's nice when you sell a house, you can at least document something.
Oh yeah, it's nice when you move into a new house too, and your utility bills aren't driving you out. So it's all good.
Exactly. Yeah, that's awesome.
We are seeing more builders, especially on the production side, give more thought about this. And where 4 or 5 years ago they were not, right? And this is not to say they're changing their ways about trying to have the lowest possible or lowest price or cost building, but it's like they now are starting to see quality around the envelope and ducts with warranty claim prevention. Like it is a big thing, especially
because I'm climate zone 2 and in climate zone 1, Miami. If that ductwork leaks in the right spot, you're getting mold. Yeah. So it's humongous that we're not putting cold air in a hot, wet attic.
I think the one thing that we like to share about Aeroseal, obviously, like we know what the results are, right? The data behind it. We've got a great dealer base of contractors that are out there. But for anybody that has looked at Aeroseal in the past, and like Jim's experience, he said it was like a science project back then. He's not lying, right? But the evolution of technology, because we truly are a tech company that is very well connected and ingrained in the HVAC industry, born and kind of raised in the HVAC industry, in fact. But for contractors that are out there, and it's not getting less competitive; it's getting more competitive. And if they stop at the equipment, if they don't look at the overall efficiency and delivered comfort and how important the duct system is, it's almost there's almost no difference between your 3-ton AC system and the next person's. And then maybe that's not exactly fair to say, because I know there are some people that do a cleaner install, and they do some things, they do take care of some things, but stopping at the duct work, or at the plenum, and not going on down to where it's delivered. You're putting yourself in a constant competitive fight without a lot of separation, other than customer service and experience like that. There's certainly a lot of opportunities for contractors to do that, but in what's felt and preventing those nuisance callbacks and just the quality of the install and how they feel, Aeroseal really helps deliver on the quality install of the equipment.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got a customer that she sold the house due to duct leakage, brand new duct work.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. She had 130 CFM of duct leakage.
Yeah.
So it made the whole house negative. It pulled air from the attic, and it gave a false reading on the thermostat. So it really depressurized the house badly, and she started to get attic smells. And then it's like having a car brand new, and then the transmission just doesn't work. It slips. It's like what duct leakage is. You're generating something from an engine, and it's just you're not hitting the rubber ain't meeting the road.
It's more like having a brand new car and somebody slid a Big Mac underneath the seat, let it decompose. That's really what it is. But the key thing, I think, more than anything, we go back to what Jared was saying with adding it to installation, is when you're done with an installation, people are only going to remember, does it work or does it not work? Am I comfortable or am I not comfortable? And when they experience comfort for the first time, and all of a sudden all the rooms are equal temperatures, and basements maybe a degree colder instead of 4 degrees colder, or the house evens out, they're just going to relate that with the installation. They don't know whether it's the equipment or the Aeroseal or what the magic was, but overall they're going to relate it to their installation. That's going to give you a lot of word of mouth. Wow, you fixed everything. And I think too, there's a lot of homeowners that are looking, like, contractors aren't asking the right questions to get the leads on these jobs. Hey, is your upstairs considerably warmer than your downstairs? How are allergies in your house? How do you feel about your indoor air quality? Are you burning candles all the time because you're trying to mask odors in your home? Or do you just walk in a house? I can walk in a house, and when they put those little oil things you plug in the wall or whatever. Yeah, the plugins. They're usually trying to mask smells in their house. It's not because a house shouldn't smell. A house shouldn't have any smell at all. But that these are people are trying to solve their IAQ problems and making things actually way worse. So,
yeah, my house shouldn't smell like a stinky attic. Okay.
No, well, that's like another thing with dirty sock syndrome, is dirt getting on your evaporator coil, and that dirt stinks when the system's running. And if you can stop pulling the air from areas that aren't supposed to have air pulled from, like dirty attics and things like that, it's going to make a big difference. And it's just, it's the best money that you can spend on a system, period, is fixing the duct leakage. There's just no better thing you can do because of the energy savings, the comfort increase. And again, this is like something we're trying to solve sometimes with zoning. Some systems can benefit from zoning because there's energy savings by putting air where you want it. But a lot of times people are putting in zoning because they're not getting the hot or cold air to the rooms they want. So they're literally exacerbating the problem of leakage, creating more leakage on areas that they're pushing the air to, and then more depressurization. So that's why some of these other products get a bad name. It's all duct leakage. If we could just eliminate that.
The root of the problem.
Yeah, it's a root cause analysis. Exactly.
I had a new construction home I did last week. They had one zone system and then one non-zoned. And the zone system was so leaky. I had to go up there and just help them a little bit to hit code. Every zone just leaks a little bit. the zone valves. So it's
Mhm.
just more penetrations. Tougher for the guys to seal up. Yeah, if you don't need zoning, properly sealed ductwork, it's a home run, man. It really
Yep.
is.
Jim, you went through a series of questions there about like what to ask, what contractors should be asking in the home about smells and
Huge.
comfort and that sort of thing. And one of the things we put in our what we call playbooks, right, is to put airflow testing in your process, right? And you'd be surprised. There's a number of contractors that say, yeah, we used to do it, but we stopped. And the reason why we stopped is we would identify a problem, but we didn't have a way to solve it a real good way, right?
Right.
Mhm.
And this lets them again, we say competitive advantage, solve the problem at the root, and this gives them the way to then put it on there, put it back on there, get the results tested, show the customer in different ways. You don't have to do necessarily a duct blaster test to quantify it unless that's what's best for your business, but you can prove it in other ways and then offer something to solve it. Right. So I love those questions that you went through. It's like you sat in our training before, but let them pick your mind, your brain a little bit more on some of those things. You've got the
He's
tips
lived
and
it.
tricks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Real
But this is all the same stuff we've talked about with stuff like all the IAQ devices and things like Haven.
Oh, yeah.
Contractors identify
Right.
the problems, they identify particulate leakage, they identify humidity swings, they identify other issues with the home, yet they don't have a solution for the duct leakage. And the duct leakage is once we stop pressurizing and depressurizing a home and stop just condition the air within and can use ventilation instead of infiltration as our method of control, things work much better because now we can control that instead of fight it, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. You nailed it.
I usually do.
Just like it reminds me of Joe Medosh nailed it with that example at the symposium that you want to breathe through the walls, or do you want to
Oh, yeah,
breathe
yeah.
through a MERV 13 filter with a
Yeah.
fresh air intake? Come on, what are we doing here?
Yeah, yeah.
Seal the ductwork up. Let's not depressurize the house, bring in smells from garages and attics. And that's the confidence that the contractor needs. I need a tool at the shop that I could pull on and just get certified results. And
Yeah.
that's
The
it.
best thing if you're thinking about becoming an Aeroseal dealer is just to get your house Aerosealed. And once you experience the difference, then you can easily, you're not selling it anymore. You're actually just providing somebody with a solution to the problem. And you can
Yeah.
talk from experience. This is, if I was an Aeroseal dealer, the first thing I would do is take all my sales guys out and I'd go to their home and I'd Aeroseal all their houses. That would be just the first thing I'd do right off the top of my
It's a
head.
great idea.
Yeah.
Giving our training,
Great
I
idea.
can't believe it.
When I
So-
started doing blower doors, that's what I did. I went to
Yeah.
everybody's house. We started doing blower doors. And it's like, how leaky's your home? So,
Yeah.
like, with duct leakage, it's even more. Every HVAC installer that has to do mastic sealing for ductwork, I think they
Oh,
all
yeah.
approved. They all approve
Yeah.
it. They don't have to go up in the attic no more.